Sorry, I hit go live and it just didn't go live. It's like, well,
Yeah.
all right, redo it.
Mulligan.
Yeah.
Hold on. Are we live?
Yeah, we are 100% live now. We are in there.
All right, take two. Let's go.
Yeah. You get to the 5-second clip twice.
There was this really funny video from Red Letter Media a couple weeks ago where they were making fun about something we'll talk about, which is Madam Web. But they were doing like this setup for a podcast, and they're like, "Hey, can you hear me? Are we live now? Do we oh, god damn it!"
Yeah, I mean that's totally like never actually happened during any 3 Geeks live anything.
Yeah. I felt seen for a second there.
I mean, we're known for our punctuality and our technical acumen.
Yes, absolutely. What's going on, fellas? How's it going?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Okay.
I'm actually like in a really good spot right now. I've seen 3 movies in the theaters in 2 weeks.
Dang, you're a pro.
Yeah, I mean, like it's almost like I'm back in the single life, but I'm still married. It's like this weird
best of both worlds, apparently.
Yeah. So I went and saw Wonka, I went and saw Madam Web, and I went and saw the Demon Slayer anime.
Oh yeah. Was the Demon Slayer one good? Because I was interested in seeing it.
No, don't.
That sucks.
Yeah, it sucks because half of the movie is just the last 4 episodes that you watched, and then the other half of the movie is just like filler. And there's no like real action that you haven't seen, you know?
Sure.
Like I was really disappointed with it. I really liked the Mugen Train one that they did. I thought that worked really well as like a feature movie, but this one is just kind of garbage.
That sucks.
Now, would you say you saw those movies in descending order of quality, or is there going to be a shift around?
No, yeah. I mean, like, as bad as Demon Slayer was, it was not as bad as Madam Web.
Gotcha.
And you know, like these movies, you know, it is just like 3 episodes smashed together. So you know, it's like, does it work as a feature film? No. Is it an anime that I like?
Sure.
Yes. Like, do I wish I hadn't to spend $15 watching something I could watch for free at home? Yes.
Remember when they used to like release episodes of like cartoon shows or something like that back in like the 90s? They would package them as like Gargoyles the movie, but it's like the first 3 episodes just kind of reworked into kind of a feature. Or like they did that with the Superman show when they introduced Kevin Conroy's Batman into the Superman show. It's like the Batman Superman movie, and it's just the 3 episodes that they did together.
Yeah. But it still worked. You know,
it still worked. Yeah, there's a rise and fall.
But it was just like, okay, I've already seen all this. Like, I didn't really need to see it again. And then it was like, okay, like, are they gonna do something cool? Like, is something cool gonna happen? No. Okay, cool.
That's awesome.
Well, speaking of, is there something cool going to happen? Yeah.
But I went to the movies. I went and saw Wonka, which was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's good to hear. I was looking forward to that one.
I mean, like, I went in there with 0 stakes. Like, my wife was like, "Hey, I want to go see Wonka," and I was like, "Well, I want to go to the movies."
I've heard the soundtrack to it, and I really dig some of the songs. It's weird hearing Keegan-Michael Key sing.
Oh yeah.
And you know when he's singing because he'll be like his distinct Keegan voice.
Yes, and he's kind of throwing a New York kind of shtick on top of it.
That's what I was wondering. It's like the town is like just a smorgasbord of different cultures, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. It's a lot of different things going on all at the same time, but yeah, it's all revolving around chocolate. But yeah, it was a lot better. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, like I didn't care at all. I was like, I had no stakes in the game. I was like, this is probably going to be awful, but hey, she wants to see it. I get some brownie points if I go. That this is not a losing situation anyway. You look at it. So, but then I actually enjoyed the movie. It caught me in the feels a little bit. Like, I mean, I think Chalamet does a good Wonka, and it's a good, like, pre-Wonka. You know, like you can definitely see like it felt like this isn't the same guy that
Gene Wilder.
yes, Gene Wilder was, you know, but also like, hey, he's a lot younger, he's a lot more naive, he's a lot more, you know, a lot of different things. So I like that a lot.
Now, would you say it's kind of trying to do its own thing, but still being faithful to, what is it, Roald Dahl's original kind of intent? Or is it directly being like, this is supposed to be a prequel to Gene Wilder's Wonka without...
I felt more like it was like this is a prequel to the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie.
Oh, okay. The Tim Burton one?
No.
Just the book itself.
Or like the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka. I feel like this Willy Wonka was going towards that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah, like, and I really like that. I've never read the actual books, so like I wouldn't really know what you know. Like
I didn't realize it was a book until you just said something. That's cool.
Yeah, from the guy who did was it James and the Giant Peach?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, the song. I like that they weren't just rehashing all the old songs. And you know all the old music, and they do touch on some of it sometimes, but like I thought it was very tastefully done, and nice. You know it was a solid flick. It's a fun watch, and like it's not something you have to go see, but it's definitely not something you should pass up if you're going if you want to go see a movie.
I will definitely give it a watch. I enjoyed the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, because I like Gene Wilder a lot, and I love his performance in that first movie. It's so low key because he is like the intent is he's just a big old question mark. Like you don't really know like what his goals or motivations are. You don't really know if he really likes anybody, let alone children. So that's what I was curious, but also I'm kind of like I don't want the mystique of that character ruined for me with a prequel, because that tends to happen with prequels sometimes. But I'll check it out now based on your recommendation since you liked it.
Yeah. I mean, it was solid, and like I was worried that okay, is Chalamet gonna do a good that crazy aloofness, is he gonna pull that off? I've not seen him do anything sort of like that, so I was like, hey, this is probably gonna suck because I don't know that the kid can do it, but he does a fine job, and I really liked it. It feels like this character could end up being that character if 13 bad things happen to him.
Oh my gosh. 13 reasons why he became it'd be a really dark
That's incredible.
Oh, but yeah, no, it's fun. It's a fun watch. It's a good day movie for sure.
What you should do is you should rewatch it and then go immediately into Dune Part 2.
Yes.
Oh, like Barbenheimer.
Yeah. The
Wonka spice.
Yeah. Oh, collect both of the popcorn jugs.
Yes, yes, for sure.
Was there a Wonka popcorn thing for this?
Okay.
Am I jumping the gun?
No, you're not jumping in. Let me find it. I definitely believe I was sent an image of the Wonka bucket, but I could be wrong.
The Wonka bucket. But I mean, shouldn't they have done a chocolate covered popcorn?
Yeah.
Or some sort of candied popcorn?
Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily do that for popcorn unless, it was chocolate infused, some kind of theme. Yeah.
Oh, there definitely was one. It didn't save over.
Oh, no, apparently not.
No, there was. It's just technical difficulties on my side.
Nope. This is the Mandela effect.
No,
you're in the Bernstein Bears, not Bernstein.
You're making me so mad.
You're in the Bernstein Bears universe, not the Bernstein Bears universe. Bernstein Bears.
We're in the Spider-Man list universe.
We're in the end game now, fellas. Where is this at? Come on.
I think you just imagined it, dude.
I didn't imagine nothing.
For real. No, you incepted yourself.
I'm just gonna keep gaslighting you like this until you find it.
So Jason gave me so many files that StreamYard's you can't add that many. So I have to delete some that are
Sure.
old.
How big was this countdown gonna be?
There was a lot of buckets, bro.
Buckets of buckets.
Yeah. Buckets on buckets on buckets.
Come around to it.
Yeah. But yeah, so Mike, you saw Madam Web,
Yeah.
and you made a video about it, which I
Yeah.
watched. And then I went and watched Madam Web.
Oh, I'm sorry, I spoiled it for you.
No, it's okay. Because I wasn't going to watch it. My sister wanted to go to the movies, and I was like, I want to go see Monkey Man when that comes out. And she says, well, that's going to be a little.
Listen,
too
you
violent for
sons
me.
of guns.
Oh,
yeah.
You know,
That's-
that's not bad.
That's
not bad. It's a
tame.
hat. Yeah,
It's his hat.
It'd be
It's
weird
his
if it was
hat.
actually made out of chocolate.
Oh, we get some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comment.
Yeah, I do remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was-
And then one more. I not seen Madam Web.
Ah,
Okay.
okay. Here's what.
Oh yeah. Well, here's we're getting into that, Daniel. Don't get ahead of me, okay?
Don't get ahead like Madam Web did in the movie, and then reset a couple of
And then
minutes
come back.
earlier, and then come back.
Oh, I feel out of
But
the
I'm
loop.
like,
That's okay.
you know, as she's experiencing the future, like, is she just like staring off into space?
Yeah, I kind of wonder. Like, is she just in a fugue state that everyone's like looking at her weird? Like,
But
That's
yeah, no,
incredible.
my sister wanted to go see a movie. I was like, let's go see Monkey Man when it comes out. She says, that's too violent. I want to go see Argyle or Madam Web. And I was like, well, Madam Web's out, so let's go see Argyle. But then I couldn't find a good time for Argyle. So I was like, fuck it. I'll go watch Madam Web. I want to go to the movies.
fate, the web of fate, spun you that way.
Yes, indeed. The thread had begun before I knew and ended in a place that I didn't want to be, but that's fine. No, it was fun to watch it with my sister just because like we're
Oh
both
shit! Yeah.
kind of
Oh, for sure.
and we're just whispering like, okay,
Dunking on it in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's
yeah,
fun.
so Madam Web, in the Spider-Man-less Spider-Verse, I just think it's hilarious how far they go to not say Spider-Man.
But they so want him there.
Oh, I mean, and like they put him in there. That was like that could have been Miles Morales Spider-Man,
Right.
as the bad guy.
Well, I mean, not just that, but like specifically, like Justin. I don't know if you are planning on seeing Madam Web because
You can spoil it that kind of. I know it's bad, so it's fine.
Like-
It's not really spoiling anything.
Oh.
Like if it's already spoiled.
away in a manger was born Peter Parker on this day.
Oh, jeez, is that? Oh man.
And his mom's name is Mary, so
Oh man.
I found that kind of funny that yeah, there's supposed to be this whole legion of spider heroes before the OG spider hero was even born. I mean that's something from the comics too. I mentioned in the video like they tried to do like a more mystic side to Spider-Man's origins and powers in the 2000s, I think. Then
Mhm.
it gave us Spider-Verse ultimately in the long run, which could be a net positive, but I also was kind of like, this seems a little bit maybe too big for what's supposed to be just the simple kid from Queens thing.
Right.
But
right,
for
right,
these
right.
other characters, like I don't know a lot about Madam Web or the Spider Women in this movie anyways. Well, they're not even Spider Women in this movie. They show up in the costumes for like 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's and then some. Yeah, I've not seen, and again, like I don't follow all the Spider-Man extras enough to know like who. Like, I thought I recognized the black suit one.
Ezekiel?
No.
The
Like
spider-
the girl, the Spider Woman with.
Oh
with
yeah,
wearing the-
I totally blanked on the character's actual name at the time. I think it's Jessica Drew is red suited Spider Woman, and the one they're kind of
Okay.
using for the Across the Spider Verse. Julia Carpenter is the name of the character.
Yeah, so like I was just like, okay, I think I recognize that costume, but I whatever. And yeah, like the movie was it was it better than Morbius? Yes. Is that saying anything?
Here's where you and I are gonna differ. I actually, because that's the thing, I'm struggling to remember stuff about Madam Web aside from the really like inane minor details. But like Morbius, you got to at least admit, like it threw a lot of Morbius your way in the Morbius movie, whether it was
Right.
good or not. Like it was like, okay, this is about a dude who's vampiric and he doesn't mind growling for the camera every once in a while. Like This movie, and also had Matt Smith doing some crazy shit. So
Yeah, but the Matt Smith doing his evil Doctor Who at the end was like it was too took me right out of it. It took me right out of it.
but also I was like, it looks like people actually are invested in that movie.
Mm.
Everyone, that's the thing is like, aside from like these little moments, like everything was so unmemorable in Madam Web just because the characters were acted in a very unmemorable way, and these are like actors who are like really good in other stuff. Like everyone comes crashing down on Dakota Johnson. Like watch her in like actual films where she gives a shit. Like she's actually really good. I don't know anything about Sydney Sweeney, but I've heard like her rom-com with the guy from Top Gun Maverick is doing really well. And like what a poor use of Adam Scott. Adam Scott was so like boring in this.
Oh yeah,
Uncle Ben, yeah. Which
he was just blah. Like the whole it's just an average forgettable Sony movie. And where where one could make an argument about Morbius is at least it was just memorable in a lot of ways. Like they're not good ways, but at least like, everyone was going over the top with it. But yeah, this one was just like so freaking mid. It was just like bleh.
Right.
And then like when it's like either you can see the future or you can't. Like and then they give her this weird other power at the end of the movie for no reason.
Oh, the CGI clone?
Yeah, like you could be in different places at the same time, but it's like
because she because they did that whole twist on with great power comes great responsibility, where she accepted the responsibility, so now she has great power.
Right. But instead of being like, okay, I see the future, I can set things up to where it seems like I'm in multiple places at the same time. They actually make her go to multiple places at the same time for no explainable reason.
The clairvoyant predict the future sort of kind of time travel stuff was very underwhelming. Like and also like if you're an editor, you will hate this movie because it is jarring. So jarring. Like that was my biggest takeaway from it. I'm like, that's one thing that'll stay with me is like there are times where I'm like, slow down movie, holy crap. And then there are times where I'm like, cut. Like this is an awkward hold on this scene. Cut, please.
Oh my goodness. And then like when she gets mad at a bunch of teenagers that she doesn't know for being a bunch of teenagers that she doesn't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's like...
all these teenagers who like I think they were all heading out to like Long Island together or somewhere like that. None of them looked like they were ready for like a weekend trip. Like they're just on that train randomly. And also the whole idea of like, well, they had to go back and ADR some stuff, add some stuff in to be like, this is firmly in 2003. And one thing that bugged me after the fact that I didn't mention was at one point she's like, okay, I'm going to unload these teen girls on Ben and I'm going to go fly off to Peru to investigate some stuff. Because in 2003, after you've been on the news for maybe kidnapping 3 teenagers,
but she wasn't though.
Oh,
she wasn't on the news. She was just a 30-year-old woman with possibly brown hair.
Still, apparently, like 2003, like cameras litter the place because that's how what's his name finds them everywhere.
Right.
He's got access to every corner street camera, but also after 9/11, I'm sure, flying was such a cinch for someone who was picked up doing strange activity all over the place.
And she's gonna walk through a busy airport with nobody, like not one camera noticing her. But like the other camera gets the black girl as she's driving by in it, like, because the 2003 cameras were that good to catch this full motion freaking person like in her whole face.
But also like at that point she should have known like I should probably like put my hoodie up or something. I should probably not be displaying my face outside any like window or like but she's like looking straight on like I'm like Okay, he's gonna find you now.
Yeah. So like, and that the villain was just so lame.
Yeah.
He's such a blah B villain. Like they didn't use like, do they not have rights to any other villains than Venom? Like
No.
No.
They don't
I
have
mean,
rights?
well, all the good villains are getting their own solo movies, like Craven.
God.
Did you had to have noticed the dubbing thing? Like, I'm not the only one who was like, this dude's dialogue is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
100%.
It's awful. It's awful. And yeah, oh my goodness. Like the guy he's not a good actor, or at least I shouldn't say that. He does not act well in this movie.
Yeah, no one acts well in this movie.
Yeah, no one really gave it. Like Mike Epps was pretty par for the course.
I totally forgot he was in it.
Exactly.
That's right. He's in it, and then he gets hit by a truck. Or something, right? Yeah.
Yep. I was like, all right, Mike Epps, you're good to get hit by a truck.
Hey, you've got your reactions on. Awesome.
Does it do that? Does it do that all the time?
Yep, there you go. See, that's more entertaining than Madam Web.
Right? Like,
Jason and Dan are in here. So Mom should remark that Batman reference.
Yeah.
Superman
absolutely.
reference, too.
Yeah.
Why did you say that name?
What was better than Fox cartoon? Yeah. Oh yeah, the Fox cartoon was great. Right?
I will admit it was good to see like Morbius just kind of go all in on blood instead of plasma. Like I remember that from the cartoon because the Fox cartoon had a lot of stipulations of like we can't show actual guns or gun sound effects. Spider-Man can never punch anybody, and Morbius had like suction cups in his hand instead of like using his fangs. And instead of blood, he's like, I crave plasma.
Same, bro. Same.
Classic.
Yeah, classic.
You said the American Red Cross is like their side is we crave plasma.
Oh my goodness.
Gimme, we crave plasma.
Yeah. So Madam Web, not great.
How many geeks do you give it?
I will give Madam Web 2 geeks. I guess. Like I mean,
out of how many geeks?
Out of 37.
That's a bad percentage.
Well, what would you give Wonka then?
Wonka, I will give. I'm gonna go out of 5 geeks for Wonka, and I will give that a 3 out of 5. It's not great, it's not terrible, but it's definitely better than I thought it was gonna be going in.
Nice. All right. Here's gonna talk. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Demon Slayer, I'm gonna give also a 2 out of 5, but I'd rather go watch Demon Slayer than Madam Web.
Solid. I mean, it's a better percentage. 2 out of 5 is way better than 2 out of 37.
Oh yeah, that's true. Madam Web's out of 37. I forgot about that. Yeah, absolutely. 2 out of 5 for Demon Slayer.
37 in a row.
All right, little choose your own adventure. I do have the Oscar thing ready.
Awesome.
If you guys want to do it, or we can talk buckets of popcorn.
I want to see a couple of these buckets.
Yeah, I want to see
all right. I'm with you. All right, Ghostbusters 1, super cool. At least I think it was cool.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fine. It's just weird for me to be like, I don't know. This will probably apply to the Dune worm too, like sticking my hand in something's mouth or whatever orifice the Dune worm supposed to have. But also, apparently, that's supposed to be glow in the dark, right?
Yeah, I think so. There's Dune.
So see that's what completely finalized. Like, I'm not watching the new Ghostbusters in theaters now because it'll be a bunch of like shitty kids with glow in the dark Slimer popcorn things lighting up the whole theater, and that's gonna put me off. And already it's like I think these new Ghostbuster movies are completely pointless. So there's no.
This one looks kind of cool too. The car.
That one was cool. That was the one.
How big is that?
I don't know.
I think you can fit a medium popcorn in there.
Okay. And that was for what?
That was for. It was either for the girls Ghostbuster movie
or Afterlife.
Or the first new one. The
Afterlife.
first one. Yeah, Afterlife.
Huh. Okay.
But yeah, so like that, I love the what's the car called? Is it just the Ghostbuster mobile?
Ecto 1.
Ecto 1. Yeah, the Ecto 1 popcorn tin. Awesome. Classic. Even I like the Slimer one, but yeah, like I like it as a popcorn bucket, not as a popcorn bucket that people are going to sit down in the theater with.
Yeah, that's fair. Or like display on a shelf. To be honest, I'm not putting that thing anywhere. I don't think.
I mean, it'd be fine as a display item. I'll give it that. It looks like it's sculpted well. It looks cool. I just can't imagine sitting in a theater with a bunch of shitty kids and
that would just help to that would just make worse an already bad experience. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm like, thanks for not selling me on this movie.
I thought this one looked kind of cool. I forget what it's for. It's a Black
looks
Panther?
like, is that Black Panther?
That's Black Panther.
Okay,
that's Black Panther. Yeah, that's dope.
Like, are you supposed to solve it like the Hellraiser box or something?
Yeah, then you die.
It looks
then
like
you get murdered by butter.
I imagine the top is just open.
It's just a bucket.
Oh, okay. I'm overthinking it, I guess.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Dude, it's Wakandan technology. You gotta you have to have some vibranium, and then
I gotta get the tattoo.
Yeah,
to show
it scans it, then it adds butter.
Wakandan butter.
Yeah, the best kind.
Which I bet is way more healthier than regular butter.
The Flash. This looks pretty basic.
Yeah. I
mean, the Flash was pretty basic. So
yeah, we're not gonna invest a lot of money into this thing. Yeah,
a very forgettable item. So
Ant-Man was kind of cool.
Yeah, that one's dope. I like the helmet ones. That's cool. Yeah, there's like some. Yeah, the Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen ones are dope.
The eyeballs are kind of creepy though.
That I was like, poor Miles got like real geniused.
Yeah,
he's
but then also that there's gonna be like this smear of like salty butter that's just gonna like make those eyes look awful. Like right gross. After you use that,
stained forever.
So you just flip over Gwen's, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's Gwen, the hood. I think you sit in the.
Like you remove the hood and it's at the top.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's just like a top piece out of the hood because the top of his head comes off, so I think it's just this top piece.
Terrifying.
Okay.
I know you guys can see what I'm pointing at.
Yeah, totally.
So did Barbie just come with a car and then like the bucket separately?
You just put the popcorn in the car.
I mean,
that's what you're supposed to do.
Free toy, I guess, or not free, but $64.90. Jesus, never mind, not even a free toy.
No, that's you're buying a Barbie and you're buying a Barbie Corvette. And you're supposed to ruin it with buttered popcorn.
Yeah, just go to like Target and go get yourself one for way less.
I bet of these, this probably is going to be the most money in 20 years. So
does the hood open up and you put the popcorn in, or are you just supposed to dump the popcorn where Barbie sits?
My money is on where she sits.
Okay. Yeah, that's
because she'd hate that, honestly.
Yeah.
Before we move, did you guys see the quote of Werner Herzog describing watching Barbie?
No.
There's a video clip of him saying it's like, you watch the first 30 minutes of Barbie, and it is very much an accurate, or something along the lines of, it's a very accurate portrayal of hell. And I'm thinking, but I'm like, that might be high praise from him, honestly, because I totally see where he's coming from. Like Barbie Land in that movie before, it gets reinvented.
Yeah.
It is kind of like purgatory. It is kind of like a hell. Everyone's always pleasant and smiling at you. The days never change. I get it.
Speaking of hell, rolling that one.
D&D. Is that just a D20 from?
Is that Honor Among Thieves?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, that's dope. I like it. I like anything that I can also use as.
Could you imagine coming to your D&D group, having this bucket and just throwing it on the table? Just
what if you're you put all of your dice in the die, and then if it's like a war scene,
it comes pre-lubricated with all the bucket.
As it comes open, all the other dice come out of it. Oh, I forgot my beverage.
Yeah. Saturday night, get your bevy.
Yeah.
No, I could see that, and then it'd be kind of a cool kind of container for your dice for your extra stuff. After you clean it out, of course. Otherwise, you're gonna be playing with a lot of greasy.
Yeah. Probably heard from the distance.
Man.
Awesome. What else we got? Mario Brothers looks like.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's kind of a given. I would have also taken if they'd taken a mushroom and you can take the mushroom top off of it and
that'd be good.
We sell candies at the store
that are like
that. Yeah.
Sweet.
But I mostly just put take the candy out, you put your weed in there.
Yeah. You put your weed in there. Yeah.
Thanks for announcing that to everyone where your hiding spot is, Mike.
Yes. What is this? Oh, it's Oppenheimer.
Fat man.
Oh wow.
Fat man and little boy.
Oh
okay.
wow.
Something tells me Nolan didn't look at every piece of advertising.
That's right. Because I did not see Oppenheimer. I saw Fat Man.
Something tells me he wouldn't want his prestigious biopic about like the fallacy and inherent evil of man to have the fat man and little boy popcorn. Buckets.
Also, like, is that just in bad taste? Like,
It kind of is, honestly.
Like, a lot of people died. A lot of real people died.
That's like if
popcorn.
That's on the scale of like if Oliver Stone's World Trade Center movie had like flight whatever, style popcorn,
or like
the towers. Like you take the tower off.
And like and it's all like burning at the part where you take the. God, yeah.
That's
like come on.
That I okay. I'm gonna say, in terms of ethical, implications, Oppenheimer's really at the bottom there, just because it's like, that's really in bad taste, honestly.
And he had that that hat. He could have just done the same Wonka thing and just done the hat.
Yeah. or like his corncob pipe, but then you'd be encouraging kids to get into smoking, I guess, which is bad, as opposed to nuking people.
Yeah, mass murder.
As opposed to mass murder.
Yeah, like. What's the little war crime popcorn, right? Between friends.
Jesus.
Extra buttery.
Man, I'm a little, like initially I was like preposterous. Now I'm like really down on the fate of humans.
Yeah.
Well, here's what the future holds. Transformers.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Speaking of mass destruction.
Yeah. Oh, shoot!
That's the one you got then, huh?
Yeah.
Sweet.
That seems cumbersome.
I dig it. The popcorn goes in the trailer part, and you can put beverage in the cab and use the pipes as straws.
That's kind of cool.
Now, does the interior have like? Is it just an empty interior for the beverage part, or does it have like?
Is
seats?
it fully upholstered?
No. Yeah. It's just an empty.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just.
I would have been like, ugh, these seats are sticky.
I taste suede.
How am I gonna fit my Trucker and my George Carlin action figures in there if they keep sticking? That's just for you, Max. You and your Silent Bob Strike Back.
If you don't make with the head.
Oh shit!
The unwritten rules of the road.
Just George Carlin just dive bombing. Yeah.
I figured the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back fanboy would appreciate that.
Yes, absolutely, and thank
you. That is all I have. Bucket wise, there could be more. Just they being where it's being.
You didn't show the Doctor Strange one was kind of lame.
Was it just his head?
No, it was just like a box that was like supposed to represent like the magic, like when they do the magic in the movies, how it's just kind of like a thing in the air, like it was sort of like
like one of the effects things.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I think was maybe like I think it maybe like folded in on itself or something like that. So
I can kind of picture. Yeah. I'd say in terms of visual aesthetics,
this one was kind of cool. Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's all right, and also it could be like a makeshift mug, a giant mug. But
oh man, yes, a mug for the agents
to protect your friends from alcoholism.
I'd say in terms of visual weirdness, and I'm serious now. Like the Dune one takes the cake in terms of being like just visually bonkers weird.
Yeah, who wants to stuff their hand in that? Yeah.
In terms of bad taste, the Oppenheimer one wins.
Yeah.
That is wow.
Yeah, that is
rough.
just the worst possible thing they could have done. And like again, I was just like, it's 10 dudes in a room.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, run it. No one was like,
there's a whole country of people that might not buy this.
I would imagine they don't enjoy the movie in general.
Yeah, I'm like,
oh my goodness.
And they put out Godzilla -1. They don't mind seeing wholesale destruction, but this one maybe
a touchy
on the insensitive side, maybe.
Goodness sake, yeah. I mean, Oh my god! Yeah, I would not eat out of either of those popcorn buckets for entirely different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One out of pure disgust, one out of moral outrage.
Yes.
This butter has murder.
Goodness sake! I didn't even know that was a thing. Oh my god!
Yeah. Like honestly, I'm kind of like I mentioned earlier. Initially, I was like, weird, and then I'm like, oh no, terrible.
No.
Oh no! Oh no!
No,
no.
that's bad.
Mr. Superman out here. Yeah.
Man.
Mm.
Interesting.
All right, let's play some game after that.
All right.
Let's do some.
I've got 10 questions.
Awesome. The Oscar.
These are all Oscar movies.
Nice.
Okay.
But we have we have to guess the.
So there is all of them are negative comments. They're all from Rotten Tomatoes. I included the critic in this one at least in their comment. It goes to one of these 4 movies that are these. Every movie listed is on the list of Oscars for the 2024 Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, if you're familiar with him or not, I don't know. Burr's watch list. I knew we'd get a sequel eventually, but I didn't expect him to suck most of the joy out of it. We have A, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, B, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, C, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and D, Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny.
Go ahead, Max.
It obviously can't be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse because anyone who says an unkind word about that, I refuse to acknowledge. I think Dead Reckoning Part 1. And he says, I know we'd get a sequel eventually.
Yeah, it's the word. Again, I'm looking into this stuff like probably a little too much, but
yeah,
I mean,
I think
everyone. It's such a long running list of movies. It's hard to know if you meant sequel or not.
I think C.
I'm gonna say B because all the others have been sequels, like up the wazoo. So he's saying like I knew we'd get a sequel eventually. It makes sense for Spider-Verse where this is the first sequel for that. So
that is true. But if it is B, I hate this guy.
Oh yeah, I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this opinion at all. Across the Spider-Verse is phenomenal in my opinion, but it sounds like he might be talking about that. This is the first sequel for that franchise, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
no, that makes sense. I'm following your train of thought, but if you are correct, this guy sucks.
Okay, so I say B. You say what, Max?
C.
Okay.
Answer is it was B.
Yeah.
I was just so on the nose. I was like, I can't believe someone would even say this. But it was B. Yeah, I don't get it.
Oh my god.
Also, I couldn't find sequels for the Oscars, but it was such a good critic. I was like, whatever. I'll give you a softball one.
Some people just hate fun, Max.
Yep.
Yeah. Apparently, yeah. Whatever time.
We've been accused of hating fun at times, but
I love fun. It's just
I love
a lot
fun
of things
too.
aren't.
All right. So Ruben says from the Miami Art Zine, his latest effort is too much of an endurance test, a magnum opus consumed by its quest for significance. A, Maestro. B, The Zone of Interest. C, Killers of the Flower Moon. And D, Oppenheimer.
this one's a little bit more challenging.
I think it's either C or D.
Because part of me is like, is he doing something funny with magnum opus and Maestro?
Oh, yeah. And you did have good instincts before.
Yeah, but also he might just be making a general like statement. Like magnum opus could apply to many things, not just a musical play.
I'm gonna go C again.
I'll actually go D on this one. Endurance test might be because I think it is the long. Maybe next to Killers of the Flower Moon, it's it's up there in length. So maybe just thinking in terms of like enduring 3+ hours.
Final answers?
Yep.
All right. It was D, Oppenheimer.
Wow. Okay.
It was. Mike's on a roll.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, again, like you're entitled to your opinion and stuff. Those 3 hours or whatever, 2 hours and close to some change there, like. Those breezed by for me pretty fast with that movie.
Yeah, especially when you had your fat boy popcorn there. It was good. It was so big. It was
As I was eating delicious buttery goodness while also feeling guilty about it.
All right, from Colin Gabriano from The World. Hollywood elites are fawning over this reprehensible film, claiming it's about female empowerment, but that supposed empowerment actually disguises the worst sort of exploitation. A. Poor Things. B. Barbie. C. The Color Purple. D. Naiad.
I think you'd be probably too scared to say something like this about The Color Purple.
Or is he that guy?
Or is he that guy? I mean, it is just world, so he might be at any other point of the world besides America. I'm gonna say A. I'm gonna say Poor Things, just because there has been sort of a back and forth of like, is this about female empowerment, or is it about exploiting sexuality to some degree? I don't know. So I'm gonna go with A. I'm gonna go with Poor Things.
I'll say B, Barbie.
Okay. Final answers?
Yeah.
It was Poor Things. It was Mike. Mike's
I suck.
3-0.
I am Madam Web. I have clairvoyance. Can see the future. Or not the future. Can see the social media landscape.
I mean,
oh man,
you're a strong critic, sir.
My web does indeed connect them all.
But Mike, you haven't said. Wait a minute. Didn't we just do this one?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Oh, hang on a second. Hang on. I think it's A.
All right. Rachel Wagner. I just wish I found the story more compelling. It's a basic high fantasy revenge saga as it gets. A. Nimona. I don't know if I'm saying that right. B. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. C. Napoleon. And B. The Boy and the Heron.
High fantasy revenge saga?
Mm-hmm.
I've only watched 2 of these.
I've not seen any of these. I'm going to say D.
I'm going to say I've seen Nimona, and revenge is kind of a theme in it to some degree. So I'm going to say A again.
It's like Mike knows the script. It was A.
I swear. This is weird.
My list. So I love the idea of just doing Oscar movies, but trying to mix and match these quotes with other movies that are kind of tricky is hard because it's
right.
It's my list of movies is very small in terms of
because also it's Napoleon possibly go that way. I don't know. I haven't seen
the high fantasy was hard though. I was like, how do I get them to not think high fantascy?
I was like, I haven't seen Napoleon, but I did not hear that it was like the Lord of the Rings of historical freaking.
Yeah. If anything, I've heard it's more like more like the abridged kind of Lord of the Rings of historical epics.
I would love to know what was the most disliked movie that's gotten an Oscar, because Napoleon is up there in terms of people hating that movie. It had the most. I really wish I could have gotten more quote, but everything said Napoleon in the actual quote. So I was like,
oh, you mean that's been nominated this year?
Yeah. Or whatever. But I'm curious if there's which one is the most hated and still received an Oscar. All right. Louisa. With mediocre CGI, forced acting, and sluggish pacing, almost everything about this monster movie is painfully dull.
I mean,
and I realized the monster movie part of it when I Max, you got one.
Stab in the dark. Total stab in the dark. Not even going to use my Madam Web clairvoyance.
I didn't read it.
I'm going to say it is C, Godzilla -1.
Dang, I'm so mad at myself. I was so excited for that first sentence.
I mean, Napoleon was considered by many to be a monster. I'm going to go, obviously, C, Godzilla -1.
I put it in there because I was like, who would hate this movie? And the fact that she's like, mediocre CGI, I was like, bro, come on.
Max is on the board, baby.
Yay. Awesome.
This one made me laugh so hard. This is the whole critic.
Okay.
Why was this made?
Okay. See, I kind of this is a challenge.
Yeah.
I mean,
why was this made? No context, no triggers, no possible anything.
Just why? A, the
Anatomy of a
holdovers.
Fall.
B, Barbie. C, past lives. And D, Anatomy of a Fall.
My problem is, like, I did not see hard. Like, I think I've seen more movies in the theater this year already than I have all of last year. So, like, I don't know about any of these movies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use some Sherlock level deduction here, based on his, he might be a lovely fellow, but based on his profile picture, I think he would probably see merits in movies like The Holdovers, Past Lives, and Anatomy of Fall. This seems like a statement for something like Barbie, which I'm just gonna go out on a limb. A man of his age and demographic probably won't be able to connect with so much. So I'll say B, Barbie.
Only because I want to have more than 1 point. I'm just going to agree with Mike. I think that he's had his finger on the pulse this whole time, and
this is gonna
I'm just going to ride that train this time.
I think you're going to regret following me. I have a feeling we're going to...
I really thought you guys would have a trouble with this one, but it was Barbie.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought you would.
Follow me, Max!
For like random associations, Mike's doing great.
Dude, Mike is winning 6-2 right now.
Yeah, I know. He's crushing it.
There's no possible way for me to come back, like, numerically. Like,
No, whatever. I don't care about winning at this point. Max, you can follow.
Yeah, I agree with Mike.
Frodo and Sam, Max. We're waiting through
Mike's
Mordor.
carrying the ring. You're just carrying the potatoes.
hey, man.
Sam was important too.
No, he's carrying elven bread.
Samwise Gamgee is the
bread.
best
Mm-hmm.
friend in a movie. Like
He's the
top,
MVP.
top
I
5
agree.
best friends of all time.
Totally agree.
If you can find yourself a friend half as loyal as Samwise Gamgee, you're doing good.
And the
probably
only
have
reason we're
Gollum.
talking about this right now is so that you can finally force Jason to watch the Lord of the Rings movies.
I posted a link to get tickets for the Lord of the Rings. This is coming in March, I think, to have the extended editions are coming. So please, if you're in the Columbus area, go get your tickets. They're available. Marcus Cinema's doing it. I love it. All right, let's do it. A tremendous technical achievement, but it feels curiously bloodless for a movie that's so much about bloodletting. A, Killers of the Flower Moon. B, El Conde. I think I'm saying that right. C, Napoleon. And D, Anatomy of a Fall.
I want to say Napoleon, but I've been wrong like all day.
Maybe go with your second gut instinct for most of these things. Just like, whatever I want to do, the other one.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true too.
I'll go with Killers of the Flower Moon.
Okay.
All right.
We can do-
I'll say Anatomy of a Fall.
Okay. Unfortunately for both of you, it was El Conde.
El Conde.
There we go. Wait
Yeah.
a minute, El Conde. Let me look that. I don't believe I've ever seen. That's the thing. Like a lot of movies escape
Any
my.
of y'all single? I am. I don't know about the other two, but I'm.
That was Mike's first incorrect answer.
Yeah, I know. This was
Nailed it.
my first one.
One of
Oh,
us.
it's on Netflix. Okay, I'll have to check it out.
It was in the international movie column.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of the international ones, so okay.
So Edwin, marred by such ridiculous decision making that it's difficult to take the proceedings seriously.
Madam
The
Web.
Teacher's Lounge. Io Capitano. C, Golda. D, Perfect Days.
God. A.
Okay, the Teacher's Lounge.
Marred by such ridiculous decision making that it's difficult to take the proceedings seriously. I'll go with
Think
D.
I-
Perfect Days.
Final answers? Max, you should feel good. You actually got one over on Mike. It was
There
the
we go.
Teacher's Lounge.
There
Come
it
back.
is. There
Nice.
it is. Your boy hits
There you go.
all by himself.
All right, two left. All right. So Bob Grimm, the terrible final act torpedoes any chance of the scene of this film being deemed worthy of the franchise. Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny is A. B. Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 3. C. Spider-Man Across the Universe, Spider-Verse. D. Mission Impossible, blah, 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 blah. I got tired of writing it.
Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
Do that Oscar award nominated movie. It's fair justice, Mike. No, Mike. Justin.
Mike, yeah, Mike. Yeah, Mike.
I just call it Mission Impossible as well, so it's way too much.
I gotta say A on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna trust Max's instincts on this one. Just because I've heard some stuff about the ending of this one and it being maybe divisive.
I've actually seen 2 out of the 4 of these movies for the first time.
You're close
so far in this game.
Yeah. That was my problem too when I was picking stuff. I was like, I've not seen many of these, so I can't if I'm putting a title on here that doesn't make sense with a quote, I guess we'll have to roll with it.
Well, Justin, you did not dedicate yourself to watching every movie that you had as a possible answer to see if it would make sense as a possible.
Max, I need you to know I don't dedicate myself to most things.
We expect professionalism for this little makeshift quiz show we have on the Saturday night podcast among friends.
The Justin's The Game.
The game.
The game. Oh, it was though. You're both right. Hey,
okay.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Out of Destiny.
I was like,
all right. Last one. We did it. In the end, what the film counterposes to black trauma porn, as Monk refers to it with the coin of futures with backwardness, is a bland middle-class household full of doctors.
Jeez, World Socialist website, that is a mouthful.
Counterposes.
I know. It was such a wild comment that I was like, it's going in.
As Monk refers to it.
Which
coins
black
fortunes from backwardsness.
Black trauma porn. It's American fiction because it's the only. I think it's the only movie about black people.
I didn't know any of these movies. The comment was so good that I was like, I have to include it, but I also don't know what it's about. So we're just gonna throw it out there.
It's another one I need to catch up on, but I do know American fiction is about like perceptions of black people in popular culture, especially in writing. So,
well,
I agree with Mike.
You would be correct, and I gotta do more research on the Oscars.
I'm like, the other 3 movies, really white.
Yeah, that's fair. But that's why I grabbed him. I was like, I actually know these. Like, I don't know, but notebook and pen guy. Obviously, Mike ran away with it. You got some. You got
some wins in. Yeah.
Look, I got up to 5. I got halfway, which is not terrible. But Mike at 8.
Yeah, I gotta get better if I'm gonna stop Mike. I gotta up my game.
Yeah,
I've just gotten so used to reading critics' key phrases and things like that. And I'm like,
I think next time, maybe when Jason's here, I'll do the comments version. Like,
also
those were like actual critics. Maybe I'll do ones for like the regular.
Yeah,
audience.
Like the Amazon review ones. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
And also, in all fairness, one of them did give away itself as a monster movie. So.
Yeah,
I was so mad at myself. I was so excited for that comment. I didn't get to the part when it said monster movie. Son of a bitch. Man.
Oh my goodness! Thank you for that freebie, though. That opened up the gates for me to get.
Yeah, I was about.
Your confidence. Listen,
it's where the tide shifted a little bit.
Coach that quizzed me.
I needed a good softball, just let me get on base.
Cool. Thanks, buddy. Glad to have you.
Cool. Yep.
Yep. I'm not even sure I want to show this.
Yeah.
But it's fine. But
no,
we're not doing the Manscaped reads anymore.
Yeah, so. It's not for that.
It's an optical illusion. It doesn't actually make it bigger. It just looks bigger.
The size of the beholder, whatever the beauty and
stuff. Yeah, and that'll go away upon second viewing.
They're talking
just so you know. Just so you know.
But that was fun.
That was a good one. Good times.
Indeed.
Is anyone actually going to watch the Oscars this year?
I have zero intention to watch any of these things.
I thought they already happened.
No, it's in March.
Yeah,
Next week.
I'm probably gonna be doing my tradition of the filming a short film, or filming a feature during the Oscars. I don't know yet, but
if you need any help, happy to be on a Zoom call.
Yeah, happy to be online to help you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that should be, that'll be dope. I'm always impressed with your just any of your your film stuff where I'm just like, man, like I can't write something, edit it, like direct it, star in it, and I'm just like, wow, this guy threw this together.
Don't sell yourself short, man. There's always the possibility. There's always the potential for it.
That's true. I'm also just a lazy fuck, but
that's the other part. It's like getting motivated. Which again, I can't believe Madam Web of all things is a thing that like kickstarted me to be like, I should go create something.
But like that makes a lot of sense to me because you're like, wow,
yeah, I can do better.
They made this and they distributed it for the masses. Surely I can do better.
Yeah, I can do better.
I just watched creative people's souls die a little on screen. I need to do something to
let's do something to try to bring it back. Let's put something creative in the universe.
Let's talk about that for a minute. Are we like? Do you think there's like a bunch of like really smart creative people at Marvel that are just like throwing up in their bathrooms every day?
No, they all got fired.
Oh, did they?
No,
Maybe.
I feel like. Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
They're all. I think the main thing is more of an overarching kind of issue with companies overall. Is like there are creative people putting an effort behind Marvel movies, whatever they are, whether they're MCU, whether they're these offshoot Spider-Man-less Spider-Verse movies. There is genuine talent on display in effects, in set design, in sometimes acting, but it's more of like, I guess, overall how they're being sold to us here. And like Madam Web, for example, was sold on a premise that's barely in the movie. A lot of the marketing was like, check out these 4 women superheroes. And then it ends up just being like, check out these women running away from a dude for most of the runtime. And one of them flashes forward sometimes. And
that's unfortunate.
And I feel that played into the like I was saying on my video, which you should check out at McGTV. Dakota Johnson,
like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Dakota Johnson, I felt like in other projects that she's passionate about, like she'll deliver an A game. But this whole time, even in the press tour where she wanted to talk about anything other than the movie, like part of me is like, she got sold a completely different movie that she was actually maybe excited about. Like, oh, I get to be a superhero. I get to do this, this, and this. And then eventually was worked into, I guess it's safe. They thought it would be safe. And that's what I don't like in movies is let's play it safe. Because safe will equal profitable automatically in a lot of CEOs' minds.
And that's it. And then it's like, okay, then where can we cut the corners? And where can we pay the least? And it sucks because when they have the money, they have the budget. Because obviously when you look at like a Godzilla -1 and you think about the budget, or even like District 9, I freaking love that movie. And you think about the budget, like Upgrade, another super cheap movie done very, very well. Like you can do very like awesome looking things with a smaller budget, or like when you have these huge budget, it seems like all that creativeness and all that like ingenuity just kind of goes out the window, and you get this like Walmart product. And
because filmmaking for a long time, it was about gambling. It was about taking risks on things and on people, and to some degree that can still be that, depending on what focus you want to have. But at the same time, a lot of things, as they got more corporatized over the years, things became a conglomerate, like say Warner Brothers Discovery or Disney, they're like, no, we don't want to gamble because now it's our money. That we're not. You could say like we didn't really earn that money. The creative people earned that money for us, but still, we're the ones holding it, and we're going to distribute it in a way that is safe for us to still recoup, even if it turns out to be a faceplant.
Right.
Like,
and I'm just like, whatever, and it's like, hey, I know it's a comic book movie, and I know that most comic books are bad. It's you're gonna get that when you try to do these things. Like they're fanciful stories about people who gain magical powers by get bit by insects. So like it's
There's
you
some
know, like
degree of believability that's stretched. Yeah.
So like but also like it doesn't necessarily have to be about that. Why The Walking Dead was good at first wasn't because of the zombies. It was because of the people. Like the story of the people that you were telling, that was what was intriguing. The zombies were just like a thing that was happening. So when they tried to do something, like okay, like or freaking The Dark Knight, like when you're telling a cool detective story and it just happens to be Batman and the Joker, like you end up with a good product. But or like Winter Soldier, again, like a decent spy movie, just happened to be Captain America.
Right,
like
right.
So yeah, like you can do a thing, but just because it's a superhero movie doesn't inherently make it like you don't have to make it stupid.
Right.
But I feel like sometimes it's like, well, people are flying, swinging around, and sticking to buildings, so who cares?
Well, and also like to take it completely away from IP, because I feel IP on more occasions than not will recoup because it already has the built-in like fan base of decades and things like that. Like most IP will. Like maybe not as well as others, but a lot of intellectual properties have been around for a long time now, and people are milking the nostalgia for a lot of them too. So you'll have not just like new younger audiences kind of like curious to check something out, but also the old ones who've been around for decades. But like say original ideas, like Oppenheimer, a 3-hour biopic about the guy who invented the atomic bomb, and there's only one explosion in the whole movie. Yeah, but you have to be basically like just with the main character for a majority of the film, and it jumps around to different points in his life, and some are softer spoken, but everything's treated with a grand epicness. Like what that dude said in the review, like people will feel that way about it being like it's swinging for the fences and not working for me. It's too, big for its own good. But then there's also going to be a majority of people who are like, no, I'm along for this ride. Even if there are no big explosions for a majority of the film, or even though it won't be like, scintillating or titillating in that regard, like it'll just be a good, well-told story. And I think that's another gamble that studios are not willing to take anymore. They're like, no, we know, like we've marketed it out that like audiences need an action beat every 10 minutes or something like that. Like, I'm sure they've
gamified the whole time.
Yeah, it's like these have been focus group tested the hell out of at certain points, and you're kind of like, well, that loses all the humanity out of just like sitting with it for what it is.
Yeah, and it's just yeah, like you're saying, just safe. Like they're trying to be safe, and they don't want to do a thing. And I compare that movie because Upgrade and the first Venom movie came out in the same year, and when you look at them, they're basically the same movie. A man gets taken over by a foreign entity, and it moves his body at will. And the Upgrade is so much better than Venom, with not even half of the budget. And it's like, okay, like one was obviously trying to do a thing, and the other one was trying to make money off being Venom. And that's it, And it's like, hey, why didn't you give that guy the money to make the Venom movie?
Right. It's
like but yeah, so it's whatever, and it's a little sad, but hopefully, like what I would actually like to see start happening is the co-op movie where all the people who actually make the movie put up the money to make the movie, and it becomes okay, we're all invested in our movie, let's see what we can do with that, and that way, like every because it does take everyone. It's not just the money guys who should be making all the money, and it's like once you borrow from the money guys, once you take from the money guys, they get there to put their foot in it. And that's just always a bad thing. So I'm hoping to start seeing, and not just like the crowdfunded things, but like where it's a co-op of all the people involved, and all of those people get a majority of the money back. I would like to start seeing that.
the one thing that's really thrown a monkey wrench into the whole works is the streaming thing, because Jason shared a thing earlier about like Warner Brothers actually turned a profit in terms of the streaming aspect of things, but also that means that more stuff is going to be going straight to streaming, where it seems like the studio's heads, who are the most removed from, say, the creative process, are going to have the more say-so of what gets to air, what gets to be put on the platform. And so, that's its own kind of significant challenge, as it were, going, like, we've been talking all about it off and on, like the tax write-off issue with Coyote versus Acme, which sounded like, the more and more I hear about, the more and more I'm like, it sounded like a genuinely creative effort and really fun.
And I mean, and like, obviously in today's day and age, the Coyote would absolutely sue Acme for all these faulty products that he's buying. Like, yes, right. I was trying to murder somebody, but your product almost killed me.
Yep. but because it's ironic, because that's kind of the intent of the film is, someone who's got some gumption and some creative effort in them will take it to the company that's stifling them to some degree because of the faulty product. And now here we have a situation with Warner Brothers wanting to can something about that, which is weird. Not weird, but interesting that they would want to do that. But also it's like, I don't know, did you hear about like Dune Part 2? They're immediately going to be putting it on streaming in the spring. Now, spring could be a definition of like, it could be like May or whatever, like a month or two away. But at the same time, it's like, that thing's coming out in March to theaters. It's like, you want to, I don't know, give it some time to breathe. Like, people are anticipating this movie a lot, that they will go out to the theater to watch it. They'll go out and see it. It feels like it's tracking pretty well.
Yeah, and like, I mean, because the first Dune did very well, did it not?
Yeah.
So
it performed really well.
Why would you do that, especially for because Dune's gonna have the explosions. It's gonna have the action sequences.
It's built for a movie theater,
right.
It's built for a theater experience, but they're gonna immediately cut the box office, the potential box office, just to be like, well, let's put it on streaming. And I could understand it a couple years ago when we were doing it during the COVID times. Like,
oh, absolutely,
sure, they were kind of left with no option.
That's where your butts were,
right.
But now it's kind of like, that seems a little weird now.
Me. That does. I mean, because also, like, if it's coming out in 3 weeks at home, like,
what's the point of going to theater?
The people who aren't the moviegoers, like you would, like the people who aren't already, because I've got the AMC monthly membership. Like I've already paid my money to go see the movie, but for the people who aren't that kills their incentive to go see the movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's taken the event out of event movies, which I feel like all theatrical release movies could be potential events for everybody. So why cut the legs out from under it by saying like, well, in a couple weeks you can see it for free on this platform if you're already subscribed.
And I mean, you don't even have to advertise that. It's like, oh, okay, hey, the movie didn't hit at the box office. You can have it ready for the streaming at any point in time.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, well, hey, like, let's throw it on this platform, do all the freaking ads for, hey, coming soon to Netflix, this movie, and do that. But why not give it the chance?
I have to assume there's a lot of research done to, like, if it's so early that's going to cause an uptick in subscriptions, what percentage of those people are going to remember to remove their subscription before it's more profitable than this ticket you just bought? You know what I mean? So it's like, that makes sense too.
Yeah. And also it's like, I kind of wonder like how much they're basing this model now off of the fact that, like, again, a couple years ago, it was a different set of circumstances, because it was, first of all, no one's going to the movie theaters because no one wants to die. And second of all, like, people are stuck at home with nothing to do. So sure, now they need some content here. And that really kind of, it was a boon at the time, but at the same time, I was kind of like, okay, this will come back to bite.
Yeah, they always learn the wrong lesson. They learned the wrong lesson. That's it.
Was Dune 1 was like the first big movie coming out of the pandemic, right?
Yeah, it had the same day of release and stream model.
Yeah, but like, you're still in that mindset though. Like, you're still like, oh, hey, maybe I don't want to do this. Which again, like, makes total sense, and good on them for releasing it at home. You know, like, hey, like, don't go out. Go stay home. Like, that's fine.
Right.
Like, that's fine. But yeah, no, it's they learned the wrong lesson, and good movies might suffer.
Something Jay said in the chat earlier was like, it's still a business, which that's an undeniable reality of it, is that it's still a business. It just feels like it's become such a risk-averse business. Like no kind of risk at all, to the point where it's like, this will just keep the rich people rich and it'll keep the creatives still struggling.
Yeah, I'd be curious what the margins are for any of that stuff. I wonder if it's public knowledge.
No, I don't
know. I am curious, and I know we're a little bit over, so sorry about that. But have you guys seen the new Avatar, the live action?
I was about to ask Max about that. No.
I'm still so nervous to watch it. I mean, at like the first few trailers I saw made it look really, really good. But then, like, when I'm looking at the like
actual scenes,
when you hover over it, like on your Netflix or whatever, and it starts to show you the thing, I'm like, no, thank you. Yeah. Maybe I don't want to watch this. So I mean, I'm gonna have to bite the bullet on that one at sometime soon, but I haven't yet, just because like I'm very hesitant. Because I also heard that the original creators dipped out of this one too.
They did. They did. From the people that I know have watched it, because I've watched a couple episodes and it was fine, but I don't know. I've watched all of Avatar, but I don't remember the plot points so specific that I could tell you what the difference is.
Well, I mean, it is a different medium. And if they do different things, like I'm okay with that. If this is like, an Elseworlds Avatar, I'm fine with that. Is it as drastically bad as the movie was? Like, are they just doing things?
Oh, it's not. From what I saw, the CGI is better than the movie was by 10.
But also in terms of like, because the movie's like truncating a whole season, whereas the television into 2 hours.
No, this first season is the first book.
Okay, so I mean, I'll give it a go. I'm just nervous. I'm
gonna be honest with you. I tried, because I know the original series is on Netflix, so I started the first season just because I'm like, I think I'll finally try to figure out what the craze is about. I dipped out in episode 13 or what. I'm like, I'm sure people who grew up with this love it, or people who are more attuned to this type of anime fantasy type thing are all for it. But I'm just like, I can't get into this. And it might just be because I'm getting into it at an older age. But.
Yeah, and it does get better. It's sort of like a Harry Potter deal, where like the longer it gets a little better as it goes, as it grows up a little bit. But I totally feel that. There's nothing wrong with that.
I did see the Shyamalan movie though, and that thing is hilarious.
Yeah,
and I didn't have to know anything about. I didn't have to know anything about the show going into that one. I was just like, this is bad.
It did. The episodes I did see, it brought up an interesting, because I didn't really notice it in the anime, maybe because I was younger when I watched it, but these are legit children leading certain battlefield things, and I'm like, that looks like a child, not you know what I mean? Like they have such a baby face, and I'm like, I'm removed from the whole there's no way in heck any adult is going to take this person seriously, regardless of how strong they are. Like, you're a baby, being older, but
oh, for sure. And that's the whole thing too, and it's a kid's show, so that's but I really think more apparent about that. Like why would this 45-year-old dude who's seen actual battlefields
think anything about a kid?
Yeah. For sure.
Cool.
Yeah. I've just never really understood the idea of the live action anime adaptation or animated show adaptation being almost beat for beat recreation of what was already done. The Cowboy Bebop show, I was like, okay, it's taking some liberties, but at the same time, this just feels like a live action lamer version of what I already know.
Right. They haven't. It's like the video game movies. It's it's like, well, no.
You're never gonna make everybody happy until you go beat for beat, or you change some stuff and you piss somebody off. You're not gonna make everybody happy.
But
it's a good story either way.
The thing was made for the medium that it was made in. And to try to take that into something else is going to, like, some things are going to have to change. And you have to think about that, and then think about how you want to tell this story or this whatever, or what even story you want to tell. Like, I mean, you could do a Cowboy Bebop thing that does not involve Spike Spiegel. Like, that would be okay.
I feel like this is also getting into the Star Wars argument too, where we've had many times where it's like you got this vast, diverse environment and universe, and you just choose to limit yourself telling this story over and over again.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah. No, I mean, again, back to Avatar. No, haven't watched it. A little afraid to, just because I'm sure it's going to be okay at best.
Any as we wrap up here, any other call-outs for folks? Anything else you want to speak to for this week?
I'll call this out right now because I might as well get into some comics. I've been back into like picking up some titles. Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm really digging the first two issues I've got, and I really like the direction they're going with this version of Ultimate Spider-Man. It's mid 30s Peter Parker, married to Mary Jane Watson with 2 kids. There's a bunch of other stuff set up in this world that I'm not going to spoil, but the premise is basically like this Ultimate Universe. A lot of things happen to make sure heroes didn't become the heroes we know. So like 20 years prior, Peter was never bitten by a spider, so he just grew up to be in his 30s, and now he gets bit by a spider.
Interesting.
So it's like, what would an older Spider-Man kind of do now with the power?
Right. Okay. That's
it's interesting.
Dope. Yeah, I like that. And I mean, like, actually, like, Ultimate Spider-Man has been good, like, in the past. Like, it has been pretty good Spider-Man.
I like the OG one.
Was that the Doc Ock one? Like, where he was Doc, or was that which line of Spider-Man?
That was Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ultimate Spider-Man. It was its own brand. The Ultimate Run was basically like creators get to just restart the mythology their way. So Spider-Man in the original Ultimate comics, it was, teenage Peter Parker again, but he was like a 2000s teenager.
Sure.
Right. But that led to Miles Morales.
Yep, that ultimately led to Miles Morales. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. But this one's it's a different type of Ultimate Spider-Man, but I think it works.
Oh yeah, no, that's dope. And like with that brand, it has been good before, so I'm glad. I'll probably wait, until I can get some trades, so I can. I hate like reading so little, it just feels not great in my hands. Shout out to Go Loser Ranger. It's a manga I'm reading right now. It's like
it's like a parody of Power Rangers.
Yeah, so it's sort of like the Power Rangers are like kind of evil, and
I've heard about this.
Yeah, it's like there's so like they fight these monsters every week, and like they put on the show, but they've actually like subjugated these monsters, and they make them do the show every week to make the people think that they're safe and that these Rangers are here to protect you, and like this whole deal. I'm losing a little bit in translation. Like, I'm not a huge manga fan, I want to say, but I am liking the premise and the story so far.
I've heard it be compared to a little bit. Now, I'm not saying it's like this because I've heard this idea or this manga series is kind of a mindfuck to begin with, but like Evangelion to some degree. Like, in terms of the characterization, like, they're messed up people.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah, like they're very not cool people, but so I'm digging that. I heard the anime is going to be coming out soon, so I picked up the manga. So I'm like three books in right now, and I'm kind of digging it. I'm like, again, like, it's the medium that I'm kind of having trouble with a lot. I think just because like with it being all black and white, and I had my imagination doesn't put the color in there. Like I don't do well visualizing something that isn't just shown to me.
Sure.
So I'm losing a little bit, but I hope the anime is sweet, and this so far looks pretty cool. So if they adapt it and it's dope, then I'll be a huge fan of that. I'm gonna put Jason onto it because he loves Power Rangers.
I think. Have you ever read the original like Akira manga?
No.
I think
I like the movie a lot.
You might get into the manga a little bit more. Like it reads more like kind of traditional comic in its own way that you might like it, and because it's got like 6 volumes, and I think they're all out now. So
Okay, yeah, and I can deal with that. That's not like a One Piece or something like that.
Gotta have a whole room to store it.
Right. But yeah, so I'm checking out Go Loser Ranger.
Awesome. Does anyone else have anything they want to share? If not, we'll wrap it up. Cool.
All right.
We tend to go longer when
recycle your droids.
Yeah. Forget Jason. We go long when Jason's not
There's
here.
your
Balloons
reaction.
and everything. Surprise! Celebration.
Balloons.
How do we get balloons?
it's a thing like reactions. It's in your video thing.
Oh.
Like you have to change the setting.
All right. See y'all. I can't
Max
get
is
balloons.
having too much fun.
Bye.
Recycle your
We gotta
droids.
kill him. Kill his joy. Not kill him. See ya.